All right, day 23, and we are off to work again. It's a Monday, hoping to have a good week, but it's complicated how it works. Basically, I get advanced on a certain percentage of the annual value of an insurance policy, and people canceled their insurance policies. My reserve went into the negative, and I just didn't get paid this week. So don't have any money to buy new leads, so just gonna have to grind through the free leads that the company I work for provides in the CRM. So pretty hard to stay motivated. Definitely not excited for the week ahead, but I gotta make some money, so I'm gonna do it anyways. And yeah, that's a typical Monday. Woke up this morning, hit the FES bike for 30 minutes, stood for 30, 45 minutes, did some stretching, and then finally right at noon today broke my 40-hour whatever it was fast, roughly 40-hour fast, which was awesome. Had some ground beef, some kiwi, and some strawberry. I really wanted an acai bowl, but I didn't know how that would sit with my stomach. A lot of sugar and that, a lot of carbs to kick it off. And do better with just a nice mix of protein, fat, and carb ratio. Nothing too crazy skewed in one direction when breaking a fast. I would have liked to break it with like just a few berries, some watermelon, some like lemon juice, and maybe some like ginger juice or something like that. But I didn't have the time or the supplies to have that luxury, which is all right. It's fine. 40 hours is not a really big deal how you break the fast, as long as you don't just fat or carb bomb yourself completely. I'm sitting behind real jackass right now. It'd be epic if we took any of these opportunities to go, but it's all right. They need plenty of space, plenty of time. One of my mini goals over the last few months, but something I've really been working on, has been my road rage. Just doesn't do any good. Doesn't do any good to just shift yourself out of a state of happiness and abundance and whatever you're in, laughter, humor, excitement, into a state of anger because of shit that's outside of your control on the road. And I am the most guilty of that. I say that, but that does not mean it's not going to happen from time to time again. It's particularly tough in Florida. You have to really be able to swallow, some stupidity pills, like the pill of stupidity that's being thrust upon your life by the drivers here. But that's all right. Working on it. Yeah, other than that, just is trying to keep up motivation to go do something I completely hate. I mean, hate's a strong word, and I could not be more grateful for this job. It came perfect time, perfect job, perfect scenario. It's perfect for my needs and everything at the moment. But yeah, the morning, or I guess it's the noon commute, but the commute to work is always when I just can't help but be filled with the honesty. I can't help but be honest about work and any current job that I'm doing, because that's the time when you're just, you're filled with the dread. The same dread that I always had driving to school in the morning, to just go driving to high school. I loved driving to university, but driving to high school to just go sit in class and waste 6 hours of the best years of my life absolutely killed me. And Yeah, if you just think about the whole perspective of life, the things you're going to remember, how important, how short life is, how little time we really have to do the things we enjoy and be around the people we love and everything like that. If you keep that perspective alive in your heart and don't just put the blinders on and get tunnel vision for whatever it is that you're doing, it makes it really easy to have an honest conversation with yourself about what your job really means. It's a necessary evil. I'm not saying anyone should go out and quit their job and just chase their dreams. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that if you've got an established dream, a good plan, and the work ethic, ability, and willingness to execute on it. Should definitely do that if it doesn't compromise your family or anything. But for me, I just don't have that luxury. Number one, when left my own devices without some semblance of structure for work, now I could do it. Before, I couldn't. I would just waste away my day. I would just, not out of laziness or anything, just out of pain, exhaustion, overwhelmed completely by my injury and all the complications going on with it. I would just, end up laying on the couch, zoned out, not even watching TV necessarily, maybe just staring at the ceiling, just waiting for enough motivation to do something through the pain that I was experiencing. And yeah, so the structure of work made it where I just had to push through that. I just learned more pain tolerance. I didn't have less pain or have less problems or have more energy or anything like that. Well, actually, so what I did when I first started working this job is I basically starved myself for 8 weeks because I knew I didn't have the willpower and the drive to go and work 12-hour days every day. I couldn't work through the pain. I wanted money and security and everything more than anything in the world, but that wasn't enough to endure the nerve pain and back pain and leg pain and just all the associated discomfort that went along with it. So what I did is basically did some fasting, and then I just basically restricted my calories down to like somewhere in like the 500 to like 1200 range, with some refeeds in there, but mostly I was eating between, I'd say maybe 800 to 1200 calories a day, almost only ground beef and blueberries, a little cucumber and avocado in there. So I was in deep ketosis and basically a state of total starvation. I mean, really, and I just applied that drive, that hunger for food towards a hunger. I just diverted it, and instead of focusing on food and not having enough to eat, I diverted it into a hunger for success and money and successfully getting all my licenses and selling insurance. And that worked for me. That was able to get me through the first couple months. And then by that time, I developed the pain tolerance and the ability to endure through that 12-hour shift. And I just had acclimated my body to a new level of pain and discomfort that I couldn't even imagine being able to tolerate, basically 12 hours of sitting, especially before the gym was installed at work. The gym's brand new. There wasn't a gym before, and it was basically a 25-minute drive to my gym from work. So you're talking like basically with working out, especially if I was going to sauna, you're talking about like a 3-hour gap in the day that just wasn't really conducive. So I wasn't going to the gym very often at all. So I was literally sitting for 12 hours straight, and it was I prior to forcing my body into it through this hunger drive thing that I did, and I don't even know if this is a good strategy. It just worked for me. When I'm when my body's in a state of starvation, I get into like an elevated state and a higher performance state. Not for like physical endurance. I was extremely, if I had gone to, when I did work out a little bit in there whenever I could, I was extremely weak. And, I atrophied, lost all my muscle mass and everything, or a ton of muscle mass in that state of time. So I'm not like condoning this. This is just, or saying it's a useful strategy. This is just what I did at that point in my life to get the energy and drive to perform through the discomfort. So yeah, that kind of got sidetracked a little bit by something that was happening up here on the road. Just a cop flipping around doing something weird, but that's it. Gonna go in, and I kind of motivated myself there a little bit. I was feeling pretty down when I hopped in the car, pretty pissed off that I didn't get paid without any warning, and that it kind of compromised my ability to keep everything flowing in my little business. They call us our own business because we're basically contracted, but it's not like running an actual business. You're like a 1099 employee. You're just an employee without any of the benefits of being an employee and all of the disadvantages of being a business owner. So, not a great deal, but again, perfect for my time, or this time in my life and the scenario I'm in, where I just desperately need flexibility and outsized rewards for performance rather than just for the amount of time you're spending in the office doing shit. But I guess the tangent that I was on earlier is there's chapters or seasons and periods to life, and the season that I'm going to be in for the next 10 years is, grind mode. It's going to be a lot of work and trying out different ideas and, putting in a lot of hours and having to work doing something that I hate just to keep myself afloat so I can pursue the things that I love. It's really sexy to quit your job and chase your dreams, and we hear all of the success stories, especially if you're into, like, I love listening to entrepreneurship type stuff and stories of how companies started and founders' journeys and things like that. And it's awesome. It's sexy to have some big grand idea and go all in, put it all on the table and go for it. But you got to realize, what I've realized over the course of time is a ton of those people say, they had nothing or whatever, but they also have, a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of people have, a lot of fallbacks that some of us don't have. I have no fallback other than I could, if I fail completely, my girlfriend would definitely leave me at this point. Not because we're not deeply in love or everything. She's just had the hardest 5 years of her life as well. It's been beyond tough on her. I've been less than an equal partner in financially providing for us, and she's really carried my weight through a lot of the last 5 years. There's different periods of time where I'd come up in some way or another, but it was always short-lived, and it was a transitionary time in my life where I was trying to figure out who I was and what I was doing. She stuck through it with me. But like, if I just stopped working and just started pursuing whatever, and we were completely financially strapped due to a choice, not because of bad circumstance or bad luck or something, but because of choices I made, I think she would, she might, I wouldn't say 100%, but she might hit a breaking point and rightfully call it quits. So I don't have a fallback of a partner at this point, which, you know, that's not what I'm looking for in a partner at all in a traditional in the male female relationship category, as far as I want to be the sole provider for the family and them just pursue whatever they want. And, you know, I want her to live her dream in whatever way she wants to. If that's, you know, starting some sort of little company and working a bunch, that's fine. If it's just hanging out with the kids and going to yoga and doing whatever moms who are supported do, then that's what I want her to be able to do. But the point is, you know, she's gotten us as far as she needs to. I don't have that fallback. I could fall back on my parents, but it would be a major burden to them. I mean, they're getting old. They work their asses off. They've, you know, helped me as much as they could over the last couple years, and it's been nothing but incredible. You know, even when I first got injured, just flying back and forth from Colorado. I got injured in Colorado. They lived in Idaho, flying back and forth and taking time off work. I mean, the whole thing has just been incredibly, you know, as difficult for them, if not more difficult in a lot of ways. I can imagine enduring hardship is easy compared to watching someone you love endure hardship, because you have no control of how they feel or how they're feeling, and, you know, it's much worse. So I imagine it's actually been harder for them than it has for me in almost all ways. I can't even imagine watching like my little niece or nephew go through something similar. It would be 100 times worse than this. But the point is, a lot of the people you see who are successful founders or anything, and later on the line, they did have fantastic fallbacks. You know, if you look deeper into the story, you'll often find out, you know, there might have been familial or friendship support along the way. And so they were able to just, which is awesome. I'm going to knock that at all. That's awesome. If you can just put everything on the sideline and chase your dream. But it's just not realistic for most people without creating an incredible amount of hardship on someone around you, or you're just incredibly inventive, incredibly resourceful, a little bit lucky, and super hardworking. It's possible, but I just wasn't able to get myself in that state of being for the last, you know, most of the last 5 years. Had chunks of time where I could, but yeah, so, you know, just sometimes you gotta grind, sometimes you gotta go do something you hate in the name of something you love, but you can't convince yourself. I can't, you know, try to trick myself and convince myself that it's something I love, and I can't get too wrapped up in it and try too hard to be innovative in that space. Otherwise, you know, I could get sucked in. Might be, you know, make an innovation and make multi millions in the insurance industry, but that's just not my destiny. It's not my calling. It's not why I was put on this earth whatsoever. And so you gotta find balance while just grinding away. Yeah, hope anyone who stayed that long, hope you enjoyed the journey with me. Hope it wasn't too depressing talking about hating work and going to work, but that's just the reality that I'm living in at this exact moment in time. But gonna get in there, sell some insurance, get a good arm workout in today. Gonna do biceps and triceps. Chest is a little bit sore from yesterday. Nothing crazy, but definitely did the job. Did a little bit of damage, and had a refeed of some beef, so muscles should be growing and getting stronger as we speak, basically. And yeah, we'll do the same thing to arms. I want it to be pretty catastrophic on my biceps today. I want to just absolutely destroy them. Hit the triceps pretty good, but my enemy today, my target, is the biceps. I want to be able to like barely pick something up tomorrow. I love that soreness and that, muscle breakdown and destruction that you get when you really push it. So I'm feeling the energy right now. Sometimes I get bogged down on, workout motivation once I get to work. So I'm probably gonna go in, do about an hour, hour and a half of work, and then we'll. Oh man, did I forget my lunch? I totally forgot my lunch. Well, that's sad. That's super sad. Oh well, guess we're. Yeah, hopefully I'll get home before 8. Otherwise, we're fasting again. God damn it. Maybe I'll financially irresponsibly order DoorDash. I just can't justify it. Even if I can afford it, I can't justify it. It's just such a waste of money. Just slightly less food than you get when you go to the restaurant, slightly shittier quality, a little bit soggy for like 50% more than you would pay if you just went and got it yourself. I understand the convenience, but damn. But yeah, that doesn't matter. I'm well fed for now, so we'll go destroy the biceps during our little break today. And other than that, signing out for now. Hopefully, I'll meet you in the gym. I brought the GoPro today, so can listen to music and film. All right, so we are back in the gym at work in the afternoon. Just gonna show one set of each workout that I decided to do. Just gonna do a set of these bicep curls to failure, just trying to really hammer the arms. But I was pretty low energy for whatever reason. But yeah, I've found lately that the kind of style that I like to do is I like to just do 3 or 4 sets of each workout. And I do the first set is kind of just a warm up almost to failure, and then second set to failure, and then the final set I'll do to failure, then with partial reps. So I did 2 more sets of those, and then hopped on over to the bench, which is always awesome at work because I'm able to kind of stretch my back out and get out of the seated position for just a minute, crack my back a bunch, and yeah, it feels really awesome to not just be sitting for 8 hours straight, but just did some tricep press things here. Don't really know what they're called. Definitely could have had a bit better range of motion, but I was just focused on clenching my tricep and getting a nice burn going. And just going to do the exact same thing, just kind of a warm up set. And then I did basically, 2 more sets to failure after that. I only had a kind of limited amount of time this day, and definitely did not get the bicep destruction I was looking for. I ended up, I'm pretty sure that I do biceps tomorrow as well. And so with these, just going to do some concentration curls. And I start out with really heavy weight and just go down as far as I can, not necessarily to a full extension, just to where I feel like I can't get it back up. And I always start with my left arm because my left arm's little bit weaker, but today for some reason started with the right arm. I just like to do the the max I can on my weaker side and then match that on the stronger side. But wasn't thinking about it when I did these. And yeah, with these ones I definitely because it's it's really subjective how much you're working depending on how far down you go. I try to get to the farthest point I possibly can with that amount of weight, and then I always go down in. I usually go down in weight and get a further extension, just because I think the extension is really important as far as building strength and muscle goes. So yeah, that was a struggle even to get it up on the left side, but just probably gonna do a little bit less than the right. I'm not actually sure. I don't remember. I'm recording this audio a day or so after I actually did the workout, but yeah, um, I ended up doing, I think I did 4 sets each arm. So it was pretty basic workout, but it's just getting the juices flowing and staying consistent, doing something rather than doing nothing, even though I have kind of limited time. And just, yeah, do it to failure. And then do on the very last set, probably pick it back up again after the failure and just do some small partial reps there. All right, we are back in the Grand Caravan of Dreams. Made zero money today, but that's all right. Spent a few hours being pissed off about my non-payment situation that went on at work, and then you know, really internalize the fact that obviously no one in the world gives a fuck whether or not I get paid except for me. And so, yeah, just started grinding, making phone calls, and gonna just kind of take a lesson from my own little talk from earlier. That was weird. About starvation. I'm going to lower the calories down. I basically have 2 weeks before I go to this music festival that I got to make some money to be able to afford to go to, and yeah, up in Canada in BC. And so I'm going to lower the calories down again, like I spoke about earlier in the video. Not crazy like before. I'm not going to go down to like below 1,000. But I'll probably go down to like, I don't know, something like ranging from 14 to 1,800, just because that'll really light fire in my motivation if I direct all that. When you're basically starving yourself a little bit for, a short amount of time, then you just have this like primal drive to pursue something. You're just, you can put all that focus on wanting food, but I'll put it on work and everything I'm doing with this project, and just make it happen. So that is the plan for now, but I don't know if I'll probably taper down to like 14 to 1,800 and just basically do almost nothing but ground beef, blueberries, cucumber, avocado, beef liver, maybe some bone marrow, some fish, maybe a little squash, sweet potato, but gonna be pretty low carb. I find when you're in any state of starvation that being low carb, not starvation, but any low, when you're eating way below maintenance, 1,400 calories is way away from starvation. 500 to 1,000 or whatever I was doing before was, that did feel quite a bit like starvation. But anyways, when you're eating quite a bit below maintenance, because my maintenance is like 3,100. I'm not sure how or why, but I'd be gaining a little bit if I was working out good and everything. I'd be gaining a little bit at 3,100. My maintenance is probably like 2,800 to stay completely statically maintained. So it's a 1,000 calorie deficit is a ton. You definitely feel it. But what I was going to say about the carb thing is, number one, it makes it incredibly easy to eat in a deficit if you're in something close to ketosis and you're just all the carbs you're doing are nice slow carbs, things like sweet potato, berries, I don't know if berries are slow carb, but they don't seem to give me that carb craving like other fruits do. I'll still do some other fruits, but very limited. And I find when you do that, it just makes it super easy, number one, to eat a small amount of calories, and number two, something about that ketosis state also like increases, like, I don't know what to call it, like almost a predatory drive in, I can't speak for females, because I have never been one, but at least for me, I think, yeah, I just think I was born to hunt for my own food, and there's just something natural, or I don't know, ancestral about eating primarily meat and having low calories. Because if you think about it, back in the era when we were, have spent most of our humanoid existence evolving, you would be in a low calorie, all meat state during the dead middle of winter, and it makes sense that your body would be more in tuned and driven to find food in that state, because you need to go out and you need to hunt some big ass wild animal in the snow. It's really difficult, it's hard, and everyone in your tribe is going to starve if you don't do it. So that's kind of my thinking behind it. It's just completely made up theory that I have, but it seems to be pretty applicable and it seems to work. And I kind of came up with this theory when I did a 20-day water fast once. Well, I had 3 or 4 glasses of juice during that time period, during the first 10 days. Every like third day, I had a glass of either celery juice or like some other juice, just to kind of flush my digestive system out. But during that 20-day fast, I was obsessing. All I could think about was wild animals. I just wanted to like kill any wild animal, cut it open, and eat its organs raw. And I was really sick gastrointestinally. That was the motivation for the fast. I was having all sorts of like severe lower intestinal issues that were debilitating in every single way. Couldn't eat anything without getting sick, literally nothing. But while I was on this fast, what my body wanted more than anything was just meat, raw meat, organ meat, bone, and it wanted it from wild animals. I got to the point where I was like watching hunting shows and like watching shows about like how to gut animals, or like gut wild animals, or how to prepare them, or how to cook bear or cook elk or cook deer, whatever. And I was watching a lot of Meat Eater with Steven Rinella at during that time period, that couple of weeks, and I would just be salivating at every piece of meat that they showed. And like the idea of like a raw vegetable sickened me. I mean, it was just like the most intense natural aversion to it. And this was prior to me kind of discovering the carnivore diet trend or anything like that. I didn't, that was not fully in my, sphere of knowledge yet, and it wasn't quite popularized. I think it was just a few months after that fast that Liver King blew up, and the carnivore diet became a cool thing everyone was talking about. And I definitely hopped on the bandwagon, and it's like saved my life for that reason. I mean, not saved my life might be a little bit intense, but it did completely revolutionize my health, happiness, well-being, and I was on what felt like a really dark path of illness and sickness for a long time prior to that. So going to the bottom line is gonna leverage that whole ancestral ketosis carnivore type theory. Gonna tune down the calories a bunch. Be nice too, because it kind of serves Jesus. person just slammed on their brakes in front of me so hard. It's raining a bunch. But it kind of serves a double purpose for me being paralyzed, because I'm going to a camping music festival up in the mountains. They have really great accessible bathrooms there. They're the best, and that I've been in at any festival, which is huge. But I still, it's super inconvenient to have to shit while I'm there. So it will serve the double purpose, because I'm going to still fast for 3 days before, so that I don't have to go to the bathroom at all while I'm in transit there. So it'll just get my body in a nice primed, low calorie state where it'll slow my metabolism down a ton eating that little, and so I won't have to eat as much while I'm there. I won't have to spend as much money on food. I'm not going to have access to the type of food that I need to eat, whole food, fresh meat and fresh vegetables. It's a camping festival. They do serve some pretty healthy food there. I feel like it's expensive just eating at food stands, and it's never, no matter how healthy any place you eat out is, the margins are just too small on food. They have to cut corners somewhere, and it's usually on the oils. And canola oil and any sort of seed oil fucks me up more than almost anything else. I mean, it's just a mass of inflammation for like 3-4 days after I eat not a small dose, but a pretty healthy dose of canola oil, or like some nasty fried seed oil. Dang, I don't know how loud that's going to be, but we'll see if we can even isolate the audio on this. I hope we can, because it is dumping right now here. See if I can flip it around real quick and show you. Never looks as bad on the iPhone. It looks way worse. Seriously, the next time you're in rain or snow, try to film how bad it is, and it just looks fine through the iPhone compared to what it looks like through my eyeballs. But what I was saying basically is I'll have to shit. I'll still shit every single day, but just with all of my gastrointestinal issues, being in a super low calorie state with a lowered metabolism when I showed up there, it will be great. And I'll also get really lean in the meantime. I'll lose all this extra fat that I've got going on, and kind of give my body a nice period of healing. It'd be cool to put on some more muscle in the next couple weeks and some more strength, rather than kind of diminishing a little bit. But that's all right. It'll be perfect timing. I'll probably lose weight while I'm at the festival as well, just because I will be kind of avoiding eating too much, and have basically food fear of anything that's going to fuck my stomach up while I'm there. And then also just be dancing and up all night and all day at a rave. So yeah, probably gonna lean down even more, and then I can get back being super lean right at the start of August. Will be, I don't know what will be at that time. We'll be about 45 days into this challenge, so I'll have a solid 135 days. I'll have a nice 4.5 months left of the challenge, and that'll be basically a 4.5 month bulk for me. I'll slowly crank the calories back up, and that's when I'll really make an intention to put on the back muscle, the leg muscle, the glute muscle, and fill out the easier part of my body to put muscle on. But what I really want to do is heal my back up as much as possible, and just get as much muscle on there as I can to structurally stabilize my crumbling spinal column. But anyways, I don't even know if this audio is going to be usable with all this rain. I'll do voice isolation and hope that it is. But I should should get to driving anyways. It is pretty. I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna see. I can't see shit right now. No, it's just amazingly clear. It's just perfectly clear. I wish there was some way to translate how much less visibility there is with my eyes than on this phone. It's almost safer to hold your phone up and drive through your phone. I mean, it's definitely not, but man, I can see quite a bit here. Anyways, that's day number 23 done. Just gonna go home, stand, prepare lunch for tomorrow, make sure I bring it with me, and then go to bed. Try to get into bed by, it's like 8:15, 8:20 right now. Try to get in bed by 9, sleep by 9:30, because I'm gonna start having nice early days and crushing all my shit in the mornings.